Hi guys, so today we are going to do a deep dive into a type of fixed income unit trust fund, and that type of fund is known as a money market fund. So in this video, we kind of break down A, what a money market fund is, B, what the difference between a money market fund and a normal income fund would be, 3, what are some of the benefits of investing in a money market fund, and finally, fourthly, what kind of investor would invest in a money market fund. Firstly, what is a money market fund, right? A money market fund is simply a fixed income unit trust fund, but there is one special characteristic, and that is that a money market fund can only take the fund's money and invest in fixed income instruments which are 1 year or less in maturity. So what that means is that in a money market fund, the fund managers, Cal or anybody else, can go and buy instruments like treasury bills or commercial papers or whatever those instruments may be, which mature in 1 year or less from the time of investment. Next, we'll look at the difference between a money market fund and an income fund. So, for those of you who invest with Cal, you all will know the investment grade fund and the fixed income opportunities unit trust that we have are known as income funds. So, the difference again is in this maturity period. The debt that we can take into an income fund doesn't have a restriction of 1 year or less. So, for example, into the investment grade fund and the FIOF, which are both income funds, we can even go and buy 5-6 year debt like government bonds or debentures. But into a money market fund, we are restricted in buying short term paper. So, that would be 1 year or less in duration. So now that we have clarified the difference between an income fund and a money market fund, let's look at some of the benefits of a money market fund. Mostly it is to do with risk. Because if you take a money market fund, you know that the instruments that that fund is holding is not long-term instruments, maturing in a year or less. So technically the risk factor in these instruments is less than an equivalent instrument of a higher maturity. So if you take, say for example, a 5-year debenture, as opposed to the same company issuing a 1 year paper. The 1 year paper holds less risk because you don't have to hold the paper for as long as 5 years to get your money back, right? So when you look at it in a risk perspective, the main difference between a money market fund and an income fund is the less risk that a money market fund holds. A second benefit is that of liquidity. Generally, money market funds tend to be extremely liquid. So for large investors, people who are maybe putting billions of rupees into a fund, a money market fund is a good option to manage their liquidity because they can invest and withdraw large quantums of funds overnight, which some income funds also offer, but generally money market funds offer more liquidity. So with this in mind, what kind of investor would invest in a money market fund, right? Firstly, if you look at it from a safety perspective, investors with very low tolerance for risk, people like pensioners, maybe even pension funds, insurance funds, these type of investors who don't want to take a lot of risk on board and are okay with a slightly lower return which a money market fund would give when compared to an income fund, will look to this safer, more liquid option. The second would be people who are maybe using this type of fund to manage their short-term liquidity requirements. A lot of corporates or high net worth individuals might be using a money market fund just to park money for a day or a week or very short term. So they get the benefit of a higher rate than say what a savings account would give them, but they also get the liquidity that a savings account would give. So they can move big volumes of money in and out of a money market fund without any penalty. With that, I think you'll have a good idea of say the difference between a money market fund and an income fund, as well as the pros and cons of a money market fund. If you have any other questions, you can always leave a comment and we'll be happy to address them.